Okay, so we're back here. Welcome back to the second hour of Burning Crowns. Burning Crayons.
Burning crayons.
So, cool. So we want to go out and with this hunter to see what's going on. Partially. Count
sure.
Ronald,
That's good.
you want
Yes.
to send...
Oh, I feel like it'd be very poignant for me to come out with a series of posters and start nailing them up around my new trading post.
Okay.
On my way to talking to Kistengress.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What do you want to talk to him about specifically?
I need to talk
He
about
apologizes. Like, when he sees you immediately, he's like, I'm sorry, you're great. This is getting out of hand.
What's happening that's getting out of hand? Your attitude during the debate. Yes, I accept your apologies. It is good for you to have spirited opinions, but in the future, you should bring them to me privately. The nobility needs to stand together publicly. Now, here, and I hand him a poster, and it has my sister's face on it, and a bounty for her execution.
Oh shit! And he's like, "Are you sure you're Grace?" Like he's like holding it in his hand. He's like, and he looks at you. He's like, "Are you sure you're Grace?" You're
I just look at him. And the poster lists that she's no longer a member of the Swan family and not my heir anymore. She's now known as Emma the Black Swan.
Yeah. But
now, out of curiosity, is this like a stick figure? Is this like we're looking for Appa in the Tales of Ba Sing Se?
But it's still your sister, right? So he's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
I just continue to stare at him flatly.
All right, I'm sorry. All right, okay. And he marshals these off to subsidiaries to put around. And
now, Sir Keston, a man named Fyodor, did he come to you?
No, but one of my guardsmen was telling me about Fyodor and his missing sister, right?
Yes. I didn't catch her name.
We are looking into it. Titania.
I see.
We
think
it might be some bandits.
You mean the bandits in the fort? I hardly think that's possible, given that they're in here, but I suppose they could have killed somebody and threw them in the well.
Well, it's the wrong time of this. There's the wrong time of the year. Wolves wouldn't be hungry. I don't know what would be killing people.
Listen, come with me, and let's talk to Sumire and get the two of you assigned on search duty. And speaking of those bandits around the fort, we should probably put them to use finding these missing person.
I believe
they don't seem to do anything but walk around and pray all the time. It seems like a true waste of their talents.
Sorry, well,
I had them training and drilling.
They were being trained by your friend, your Abadarian friend. It doesn't seem like our place to get in the middle of that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk to Sumire and get you two sorted out, and I will talk to Father Demetrius.
Yeah, let's go talk to Sumire Shoshone. She's probably like meditating on top of near one of the catapults.
Is it the one that has? I think this is a far back reference. Didn't we put all of the remaining explosive pink goo next to all the catapults in case we needed to push it off the walls and light people on fire?
I'm not sure. Probably.
I feel like maybe she's meditating atop one of those barrels.
I forgot that we had those barrels.
Yeah.
In case you're only just now tuning in to Burning Crowns, barrels of explosive pink goo will just have to be non-contextualized for you forever.
I really forgot that we had that.
No, I always remember those because I'm like, I'm going to use them at some point. You have a Chekhov's exploding pink goo barrel. You have to use it.
So, we have... All right. So she...
Sumire, you lead a dangerous life.
She's still, without... she
probably, you know that stuff
ceases her meditation.
It's supposed to flame.
I want her to just stamp out a lit pipe on the barrel.
He's like, well, there's good... Yeah, it's a good thing there's no fire up here.
Perfect. I have a job for you, Sumre. Apparently, some hunters gone missing. Tatiana, but the Keston knows the details. Anyway, I want to hire you to find her. Natalia, that's the name.
This is a little bit I think she would say, don't you have someone else to do this? This seems a little bit seems a little bit like a waste of my skill set.
Is it though?
Someone less overqualified.
Yeah.
Sumre.
She's overqualified for this.
A fort full of military men. You were the only one that could go out and find the bandits and come back at great risk to yourself. Perhaps this is...
I work best alone.
I don't disagree with that. I very much would like you to work alone on this. I don't know if one of the bandits inside the fort is involved. I trust you as an independent contractor, let's say.
Okay.
The payment will be good. And your skills will be put to good use, finding somebody. Can you truly say no? A man's sister is missing.
You say that with wanted posters for your sister in your hand. A man's sister is missing.
I know. I think that's literally what she says. Something like to the effect of, yeah. Speaking of, yeah, that's something. A man's sister is missing. Something you probably know a lot about.
That's true.
Your Eminence.
That's true.
How are you doing about that, by the way?
I have proclaimed that she is no longer my heir and cast her out of my family. I'm not sure why my erstwhile allies allowed her to leave alive with a giant pile of money to a city full of mercenaries, where I assume she'll take up some trade that will involve torturing people and cutting their hands off. But she is no sister of mine anymore.
Well, perhaps you'll wind up dead on a battlefield between Patax and Mivan. And then it'd be nobody's problem. But it'd be a shame that bounty went to nobody then.
Well, just think. If you can find Fyodor's sister, Tanalia, as soon as possible, you can get on hunting that bounty very quickly. And I will provide you with several neat tricks to find my sister. A leg up of information on your competitors.
Okay. So find some missing hunters. Sure. Do you know vaguely where they went? Nora Marches, I presume.
I literally push Gares in front of me, and I'm like, Gares has all the details.
Okay. So you guys have agreed upon rate beforehand?
Yeah, I think last time I just gave her a giant bag of gold.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's how much it would cost for her as well.
One giant bag of gold.
I mean, I think it was like 2 or 3.
Ooh, can I help you with this test?
Oh my god. You're not even here.
In your shadow.
Yeah, you're not here to help.
I'm always there.
Well,
Well, Swan has control of my investments, so he could just I'm
not gonna let you
draw on the partnership.
Listen. I'll pay her 3 for this.
Yeah, there's
especially
no.
if it helps
Yeah,
get down.
3 is good. She's fine with 3. I don't think you have. Okay, you didn't have to actually make a test. Don't count that test. That 3 is fine. There's no roll to.
You act like that test would do anything for me.
Yeah.
I've literally never marked a test on resources.
So.
Think
Yeah.
bigger.
So.
I just hand over a giant bag full of coins, and I'm like, find them. And a second bag like this is yours, as our usual agreement. Sumre, you are most helpful. Keston,
What's the name of the hunter? And he's like, he's like starts talking to Keston.
As they're walking away, I'm like, Tatiana, that's her name, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
I would love to walk downstairs and find the companion of the fellowship preparing to go out.
The fellowship.
Hell yeah.
I guess I'll see them off with my
Demetrius, what is all this shouting? And why are you yelling at a peasant?
I was never yelling. I never raised my voice.
Demetrius, why were you speaking toward a peasant?
Why
was a peasant yelling at you?
I said I warned him not to speak to me in such a manner, and Onin kept me from arresting him for improper behavior.
I kept you from killing him on the spot, which is illegal.
I turned to Onin and I'm just like, yes,
Details.
randomly killing people is illegal.
Yes, it is, so I stopped him. Perhaps you should ask him why he was going to randomly kill a peasant.
I don't know where you're
I want to
from.
have this really weird moment where I move to stand beside Onin and turn my head towards Father Demetrius and be like, why are you randomly killing a peasant?
I don't know where you're from, but where I'm from,
Count Swanlands. It's called County Swan.
when a peasant raises their voice and addresses improperly a member of the high nobility, it costs them their life.
After a trial, as I recall.
Well, yes. I was going to have Sir Zidomar rough him up a bit first. He is a bit of an extreme man. I didn't say to kill him. I merely gestured.
I think you'll find, with the border here being so close to the Stolen Lands, EX, we are in the Stolen Lands. The people here have different perceptions about freedom. We Southerners aren't like you Sertovans.
Your Grace, if one of these men addressed you by your first name without using your title, you would most assuredly have them arrested, if not kill them on the spot.
I would correct them a few times before I did that. Remember
And
Nikolai?
I did. I gave him 3 chances.
Oh, well, that's entirely reasonable then.
In Lord Demetrius' defense, he was speaking out of turn to quite a significant extent, Your Eminence.
No, 3 chances is more than enough in my book.
All the same,
As the age-old saying goes, 3 strikes and you are out.
Ah, yes. William of Clinton taught me that.
So,
Mason, you claim to be some sort of legendary holy man architect, knowledgeable scholar, correct?
Mason instantly shrinks like half a meter when you say that. It's like, no.
I remember you saying something along the lines that you're accounted as one of the greatest men of the age, or some nonsense like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You must have misheard, my lord. I've
been doing that a lot lately, actually.
I was in tutelage to one of the greatest men of the age.
Fantastic.
I do not yet claim to eclipse my master.
Listen, all of you. I'm sending Sumire out to find the missing hunter, Titalia. She's the one who found the bandits repeatedly. She's extremely competent. I believe we can rely on her. And EricVulgaris to get this done. This barracks here needs to be finished at some point. I understand that. What are we calling them? The flock of seagulls? What are your people named? These bandits that you've pardoned under religious law?
My flock. Yes. What about them?
Well, before they fly away, I think perhaps we should find them someplace to stay where the hunters won't get uncomfortable. I've heard uneasy mutterings around the camp.
I would agree.
Now, if it would please Your Grace, I say, and Mason pulls from their person a scroll and presents it to Count Swan.
What is this? What am I looking at here?
I took a
Is this
liberty.
a house for ants?
What is this? I took the liberty of observing the grounds surrounding the fort and have devised the optimum solution for placement of the building should you wish to continue the expansion.
I grab Mason by the shoulders and take him up to the walls, and I'm like, look, there is the barracks foundation right there, the land which you blasted, where we have placed logs upon. I appreciate that you think we should build it somewhere else, but one does not take a half-builded building and rebuild it.
Oh no, I merely suggest, and I say as I kind of like reach into your hand and like kind of like tug at the scroll to unfurl it and show you what's on there, being like, no, it merely needs to change in this way. And to back up the claim that I would have such a scroll, Eric, I would like to follow up my statement from last session that I'm observing the land and planning shit out with an actual test to see if I achieve what I set out to do, or if this scroll contains hogwash.
Are you gunning for architect?
No, I was using strategy because I did not mean to. Like, this is a plan of how you construct the building. This is a plan of where would you place it.
Oh, for tactical. Yeah. Okay.
Tactical.
That sounds like an ob one.
Right. I shall take it. I shall.
There's nothing particularly terrifying about this.
I shall fork. I shall make some forks as appropriate. I will use war-wise as fork because this is what the plans are essentially. This is a plan of like strategically correct placement for dealing with incoming conflict. I shall use tactics for a fork.
Sorry, it's ob 2. Assessing a salient point is strategy. And so this would be.
Yeah.
I shall also use logistics because it seems prudent. And I will fork astrology because I can. That's my motivation.
Fair for astrology.
Well,
pretty much.
you're not. It's not so much you can. It's more that the shepherd is in the correct position for the building of.
Exactly. Why would you not consult the heavens before building? Right. That's just silly. Exactly. And finally, I think if we cut back to some details from the scene of us talking on the parapets, we see like a tiny table standing like by the crenellations, on which there was a tiny board being placed that Mason has in their possession. That's called like the King of Kings or something. Which they have been using as they observe the landscape to be like, yeah, so I move my pawns here and here and here in representation of attacking this fort, and I will use strategy games as a fork for this.
Is this like something that you like do obviously?
Yeah.
I think I would ask you about the game.
Cool. Let's catch up with that on oncoming scene.
Sure.
Definitely. So I am going to. Yes, it is. But I want to do my best because I need to impress these guys and make them take me on and provide for me. So
your intention here is to impress Count Ronald Swan with how valuable?
My intention here is to create a plan for expansion of the fort that does not simply extend to like where would you place a barracks. It's like this is the strategically correct segmentation of.
No, that's
expansion.
your action. What's your intention?
I see.
That's your task.
That is the intent I went into doing the test with. I made the plans with the intention of making it as correctly as possible. Now then I use that tool to follow up with a different intent essentially, which is take this and hopefully be fucking intrigued by it.
Can this be a link test into what will eventually be my architect role?
This would just give you advantage on an architect roll.
Okay.
Yeah, this could count like instruction for a test, which would add a modifier.
Exactly. Okay.
What did you set the obstacle at?
2.
All right, let's see.
Ooh.
There we are.
Easy. Wow.
Wow.
It's a lot
I'm
of-
gonna spend
It's
fate on that.
Yeah. Wait, why is Artha +4?
Arthur is not supposed to be +4. Let's quickly deal with that and re-roll because that's some nonsense.
Also,
That
how did
is
you get
nonsense.
4 successes on 10 dice? Hot damn.
You can take the last 4 dice off, which would give you 2 successes.
All right, I'm okay with that,
Yeah, that's reasonable. If you
and
just
I'll
truncate
just
it.
re-roll one time. Up there we are. So 3
3
successes. So I think the flourish on this is that the plans are drawn up nicely. It's not just like I can scribble on paper. It's like
Yeah.
I've been drawing.
It doesn't look like a coach like doing like a strategy diagram with X's and O's. It actually looks pretty good.
like-
Right.
Boom! We see him coming in from here.
Yeah.
Wow! Yes.
It's
look
got
at
really
my-
fucking banging astrological little like map doodles on it.
Hell yeah! There's
Look
yeah,
at my
there's
players.
like some astrological stuff where I'm like that is essentially like it's the
know,
graphical
yeah.
representation of the astrology fork. Which
Yeah,
is like,
like you know how maps have like the sea serpent, you know, like drawn
Yes.
on into it and looks real nice. Like yeah, you did something with that with astrology. Yeah.
I look at my plans, which are the like coach doing that kind of stuff. And I just throw it over my shoulder so it floats down into a fire pit in the lower part of the fort. And I'm like, these look okay.
I'm gonna say, Your Grace, this is very helpful and important, yes, but don't you think we need to be thinking bigger at this point?
No,
To report to the crown.
we do need to head back very shortly. I was hoping to talk to all of you about that. Leaving this in our wake is extremely important. People need a place to stay.
Fair enough. Mason, I'm intrigued by that game I saw you playing. Perhaps you would teach me at some point.
it would be my privilege, my lord. Although
Careful,
first
Dimitri.
I must insist that I be allowed to accompany your huntress in the search for the missing hunter.
She works alone.
I will speak to her. She will allow me.
I pat him on the back. I'm just like, good luck.
Thank you.
If I don't ever see you again, you're buried somewhere at the bottom of a hill or a well.
That is more than likely true of all of us. I go to speak to this person. But I forget what is Shoshone?
Sumire Shoshone.
Yeah, Sumarai.
Sumire. Yes.
Yeah, she's like saddling up her horse right now.
Greetings.
What is its secret speaker?
My pleasure. I don't believe we've had the opportunity to engage. I'm coming
She's
with
like
you.
she's listening, but also not like paying attention to you. Like she's still just finishing up everything.
I'm coming
Checking her
with
straps. She's like, she looks around. It's like when you say that, she stops. She looks around and she's like, "Well, good luck.
Thank you.
You don't have a horse." and she's like, "And I ride fast."
Yes, I'm sure you do. I hope you will allow me room on that horse, or I shall be forced to run as swiftly as I ever have.
So you're gonna try to persuade her to do this, right?
Well, yeah, essentially.
She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, sorry. She actually, you're young, aren't you?
I am ageless. You look at me, and
But
there
what
is
do you-
this. There is this like when you look at Mason, you'll be like, that person is 16 years old, or 42.
Yeah. So I think she's gonna just say like, sorry, kid, I work alone.
I must insist. I say as if that mattered. I'm just like, yep. Because I insist, you are now obliged to take me.
Do you really want to come out with me and uncover that these guys were eaten by some wolves or whatever? I'm not paying you. I'm not splitting any of this payment with you.
No, I am afraid I gave one of the hunters my word, and I intend to keep it. I will go myself and look for it. And since Count Swan mentioned that you were going, I thought I would come with you, seeing that you're definitely more experienced.
That sounds like a problem between you and that hunter.
Well,
Unless you want to persuade her to come along.
Nice.
Definitely. I'm gonna throw.
I mean,
in there,
you could. She says that, and then I think that's the role though, because I feel like that's how. So you intend to get her to see that, for you to come along. You're the way you're doing it is by talking to her.
Yep. I want her to take me along. I want her to be accommodating about it and be like, "Yeah, sure, you gave your word about that. I respect that. Come on, let's go and find some missing hunters."
Yeah,
that's what I want from this.
You don't want to duel with this, do you?
I don't feel. I mean,
I don't think
would
it's a
love
big enough
to
matter.
Dozens and dozens of tests, but I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, because there's a belief kind of on the line here.
There is. I mean, so that's the thing.
So that's why, you know what I mean?
I know. If you make the consequence for this, she won't take you. Then, I mean, I can still go.
Well, there could be something else.
The complication could also be something like, yes, she agrees, but like he's gonna fuck you up on the way or something.
Yeah,
like that.
No, I think we are. I think it's gonna be a duel of wits actually, only because of this. This is kind of important. I hope you guys are okay with indulging me with this.
I'm okay with it. I'm just excited to see our wizard get super power up by getting like 8 will tests in a row.
I mean, I'm afraid he's about to get wrecked.
He's gonna get wrecked, but it's still good for him because he's gonna get so many will tests, which are super important for wizards.
So let me do this. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can all see it. All right, so we're gonna get ready to write up our arguments.
I definitely don't think we should be using big deal rules.
No. I work best alone and need the money. You'll only slow me down.
You will help me honor my word and take me on this search, being accommodating and helpful to me.
You'll only slow me down. You'll deal with the hunter and your word without me. All right.
Cool.
So now let's do. So yeah, this is not a big deal. So we just roll our best argument, right? Persuasion, essentially.
Let's quickly get on that page.
You can use, I believe, persuasion, oratory.
Persuasion, interrogation, coarse persuasion, interrogation, oratory, persuasion, poisonous platitudes, rhetoric, or stentorious debate. Maybe roll for a body of argument test.
If this is not a big deal, we just use our will exponent as body of argument.
Oh, that's right. So, 4.
5.
I thought you rolled your will exponent for not a big deal. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, so this is like the lowest kind of risk level. Let me give you a bunch of cards. Everybody should get 100 cards now. Yeah.
Hooray!
Alright, before I put down what I want to do, I just want to make sure how something works. How one of these things works.
Yeah, you still have to test the will exponent, I believe.
I think it's just flat, like you have your will exponent flat as the body of argument, and then if it's not a big deal, then you roll your test to add to that.
Got it. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yep, sure. I'm good to go if you are.
Me too. Let me just find the right cards to put down.
How do I? If I drag them out of this out of my hand, will they be placed face down?
Yes, it should be. Place one down as a test.
I did. There we go.
This is going to be a tough duel of wits for you, my man.
Okay.
Okay, so.
It's going to be some interesting compromises, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's which is the reason why you duel of wits.
I mean, that might be you duel of wits. I'd duel of wits to win overwhelmingly.
Okay. So, well, I mean, mechanically, the system of dual wits is to involve some shades of compromise between what's being said. Like that's the reason why you do it. Okay, so let's reveal our first volley.
What?
Mine's point. And this is
Mine's
who defender doesn't go first, right? Or who's attacking and who's defending? I feel like you're attacking.
So it's not attack or defender. There is an order to this, depending on who's playing.
Insight versus point.
Yeah, so point is being spoken before rebuttal, and maneuvers like feint, obfuscate, used to literally interrupt. Incitement, dismissal, or incitement thrown at each other. Each lets their trade speak first. Loudly. Okay, so this is just a matter of the eldest character either speaks first or whatever. And I think I would allow. Mason would be deferential and allow her to speak first.
Okay. There's no there's no need for your skills on this expedition. I'm more than competent enough to do this on my own. Your problems don't concern me.
Cool. You're being an awful heartless bitch. Let me accompany you. I need to go out there and do my best to help these people, and you going alone because you're too stuck up to bring help is not helping anyone.
All right, and
Insight is so good.
all right.
Just straight fistful of ones. That's all he's going to get.
Let me do my roll macro.
I think insight just kills point, doesn't it? Let's look it up.
Insight versus point is a standard test for me.
She got one
it's
success.
It's a standard test for her.
All right.
All right, sorry, she got 2 successes.
Right. Let's see. What am I doing this with? I'm doing this with Ugly Truth, which I'm untrained in. So here we go.
Oh well.
Point versus insight is this is a versus test.
Ooh, I believe Ugly Truth is a perception test, actually.
Right?
No, Ugly Truth is its own test, right?
No, I know, but I think it's
Oh, you mean where it comes from?
Insight versus point is a standard test. So the person with the highest one, they both go off then, right?
Yeah.
The standard is another word for independent. Okay, cool. So then we each so you take 2 and I take 1.
So so this is because I succeed, she must make a steal test. If she hesitates, she misses the next action.
Jesus Christ. How do I make okay, so a steal test versus the difficulty of the insight?
It doesn't matter that you were opening that.
Or wouldn't the difficulty be doubled or something?
Yeah.
The difficulty should be doubled. Actually, that's a good point. So because I'm opening this, I need 2 successes to count as 1 success. So actually,
You don't
this is
have
not
a success.
So you don't have a single one.
Yeah, she just damages my body of argument.
All right.
Oh boy, yeah, because she's like, listen to me. She's like, heartless bitch. Like, who the fuck are you? Is she just? But really, what she says that with her eyes. Like, she just, she stops saddling when you're like, no, you're taking me with you, and she just sits like this, and she's like, you're not coming with me, blah blah, and says her 3 things, and then you just yell at her, and she just stands there and takes it, and she just does like 1 eyebrow raise, like.
Sure, I'll take it. What's her will?
You coming to my house? 4.
All right.
You come into my house? Okay.
Cool. Shall we reveal the
So
next
you had
volley?
0 successes. You started at a 5, and so now you're down to 3.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, you got this. Okay.
Point.
Rebuttal. So she speaks first.
Yeah. So the first thing that she wants to say is that you don't know anything about these woods. There's traps all about. You just get yourself hurt. And then I'm gonna have to go back to Count Ronald and have to apologize because you're gonna be you're gonna be hurt, and I don't want to look after you. I don't look out for other people. I have enough to look out at only about myself.
Okay. I won't get hurt because you will be there to look out for me. And you may not want to, but I mean, none of us want this situation, right? You can let me have this. Two pairs of eyes will spot what one pair won't.
Okay.
I'm splitting my dice into 3 for defense and 2 for attack.
Oh my god, we all.
So then we attack again, and she is going. So she's. All right. So how's this gonna work then?
You just roll for.
I roll, and then you try to ablate it, right?
Yeah. So actually, yeah. So I've declared how I'm dividing my dice, so you can just roll now.
Yeah. So she gets 5. 2 successes, but I'm gonna spend a fate here.
Cool.
Oh.
3 successes,
4
4
successes.
See, I only hire competent people. She's competent in get rectiology.
So I don't defend against any of that, and here's my attack. 1 success on attack. I'm gonna spend fate on that. There's a success in there, so it's still just 1 because I'm untrained in persuasion, which I believe is what I used.
So she takes 2, but then you get knocked out. So
she takes 1.
Yeah, she takes 1.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. She so the you're right. She took 1 point of damage this volley. So now the thing's over. The Duel of Wits is over. Sumire wins, but has a major concession. Or sorry, no, it's not major because this game has an average one. So she lost half her disposition. So you will help me honor my. So she will help you honor your word. Is what I feel like is going to be the answer. But she doesn't want. You're not coming with her. I feel like that's the compromise here. So what do you think that looks like, Niren?
So she helping to honor my word but not letting me come with is essentially not a compromise for her, right? Because she's hired to do the job that will honor my word to begin with. So it's just, that would just be her getting what she wants.
Okay.
I think. Let's see. What's a good compromise for her? She's gonna be the one who decides if she is going to if she's gonna make a concession to her own stance, or if she's going to give me something in addition to that. Because she's the winner. Also, I need to make a steel test because I fucked this up.
I mean, I don't really see...
I think the compromise would be, do you want to pay her?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
She's like, well, I don't work for. It's like, well, I don't work for free, and I could use the money. If you're gonna slow me down, I better be getting paid for it.
Hell yeah! So if I'm joining her,
what do you got, kid?
Take care of me too. What am I gonna do about that? Right? Yeah. Hell yeah!
So, what do you got, kid?
I'll make sure you're properly compensated. Don't worry about that. I can provide.
She looks at you kind of quizzically and says, like, this is the effectively it would cost you an obtuse resource test to pay her. Like, she's like, my services ain't cheap.
I have friends in high places. I lie.
Are we haggling right now?
I guess, but I'm essentially wanting to put off.
She says, "Good, then pay me up front."
Oh, okay, I will. Just excuse me for a moment. Just don't go anywhere. Keep that beast saddled here.
Yeah, you have like an hour or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's fair.
I go begging. I'm like,
yeah.
I need.
Who do you run to though? Who do you run to? Do you run to Sir Onan? Do you run to Count Ronald? Like who do you run to for money?
I helped set up a fund last time. I think. Who got that? Who got a fund last time?
Onan.
Sir Onan.
Okay. Yeah, maybe
got a fund to fund the fort. Are you really gonna dip into the hard work of Sir Onan and his?
Yeah.
Oh my
because
God.
Onan is totally like so in Mason's mind, like dealing with this is something like this is Onan's business, right? It's like bandits might have caused this. I will make sure we endeavor to find out if that's true or not.
Oh,
so I'm like, hey, I need to. Would you help me? I need to pay this bitch.
I'm sorry. Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I immediately slapped this disregarding peasant in the face.
I'm sorry, I must have misheard. What's happening?
Oh, sorry, nothing. I am apparently I am extra baggage, so I need to pay for the privilege of having some fucking dirty ass huntress looking after me. So I'm gonna do that. And I'm just not convinced I don't have the funds on me right now, but I could procure them. AKA, I don't have any cash ties, but I have also skill.
All right.
Can you help me just throw in the money right now, and I'll make sure we deal with the rest of it later?
He just needs the money up front. He's good for it. He promises.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you help me on a resources test to pay an up to resources test?
Well, walk with me, talk with me, Mason.
Sure.
I've been thinking about what you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole honor duel thing.
Oh, yes.
I think now's as good a time as any. Did you say you have an hour before you...
Yes, she will leave in an hour.
I will happily pay for your expedition into the Gnarl Marches. In exchange, I would like for you to referee our duel.
Mason loses their composure for a moment where they're like, what? And then they gather themselves back up and they're like, yes, I will do so, and I will do so impartially for the benefit and veracity of us all.
Very well, then I would have, unless you think it ill-advised, I am not inclined to make a public spectacle or too much of one. Unless you advise otherwise, I would have you deliver my challenge to Ronald Swan then, and tell him that if he will face me himself, I will forsake use of any blade.
I will gladly.
You're gonna wrestle?
I do advise that the duel be made in the courtyard of this fort, though, or in view of the fort. But the delivering the message I shall gladly do in private.
Can I just want to make sure I'm getting clarity. Are you saying that you'll fight Swan, let Swan have a sword, and you're not going to use a sword?
Yes.
Oh, that's so badass!
I will forsake use of a blade.
Oh my gosh.
Is that what you want me to convey?
Yes. If he will face me himself instead of calling for a champion, to defend his honor, to defend my honor, since it is so known that it would be an uneven match, I will personally forsake the use of any bladed weapon.
Would the duel be I assume you would want the duel to be to first blood or until...
First blood. First blood, as you suggested.
Very well. I will convey that message. Shall we deal with my issue first? Because she's going to leave unless I pay her. Because she's an annoying bint.
Well, I can't speak to that, but yes, let's go.
Okay.
I want to make a resources test to pay her.
Yep.
Right. And I have a helping die from Onan. And will you be throwing your fund in to assist?
I think I still have multiple funds at this point. So
No, we have a fund together, and then you have a fund.
oh, and then I have a fund. Okay. And I have 2 fund dice.
Mhm.
What does our roll look like if I don't throw that fund dice in here?
Pretty bad.
You're getting a helping dice from me.
Yeah.
And then that's still only like 2 dice or something
That's 3 dice for an up 2 test.
for an
Which is not-
OB2 test. Can you spend any fate on this test?
Yes, I can.
Alright,
And
then.
I have persona to spend too if that needs to be done.
All right, I will spend a cash dice if you will spend some Arthur, because I don't think
Oh yeah, I just gave you that cash die.
4 dice is a safe number either.
So if you throw in your fund, which is 2 dice, and your help, which is then I'm up to 3 dice. So I have 5 dice against up 2. That should be a
That's
decent
pretty
chance.
good.
I'm only gonna put 1 cash die on the line here, or can I
So-
only do the entire thing?
So if you need to throw in the fund, right? You
Okay.
don't have a cash die, you have a fund. You can use the fund to generate a cash die that you can throw my way if you wanted to.
Oh, all right. I don't understand how funds work.
That's fine.
Just to give you an idea, if you just throw in the fund, he's throwing 5 dice at an ob2. He has an 81% chance of hitting that. So
All right, well then I'll do that. That's fine. I'm
that's
happy
what
to
that
help.
allows.
What
I'm
do
going
I
to
need
spend
fund for?
I'm going to spend a point of Arthur because I promised to. And I'm rocking against Op 2. Here we go.
Ooh,
Just made it.
Just made
Is
it.
there a 6 in there? There is. I'm going to put fate towards that.
Cool.
Yep.
Nope.
Oh well.
Not interested.
Yes. I with Onan's help, I managed to scrounge together the cash to pay this lady up front.
You do. So you come up there and just like, all right. She like taps like on her. She's like probably like already on her horse or whatever, and she like taps on her saddle to get behind her.
Well, you will have to wait for a moment. As you said, I have an hour, and I will spend it doing something that needs to be done.
She's like,
After- Don't complain. Don't complain. You will want to be here to watch this anyway.
You will want to be here to watch this.
all right.
And I go to. I'm gonna quickly note down my tests, and I'm gonna go to Swan.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a resources test there. I'm gonna take a difficult will test, and I'm gonna take a. That was another difficult will test. Cool.
I'm still standing up by the gaming table. I've pushed all the pieces off so I can put your architectural plans down and study them while looking out at the building.
Yeah. So I walk up to you, and I look apologetic, like I'm sorry, I'm coming here to interrupt you. But then I harum for a moment, like I cough to draw your attention, like, excuse me, Your Eminence.
Yes,
I'm
Mason.
bearing a message.
Mm-hmm.
Count Onan Solston has requested that I deliver this missive to you.
It's Bishop Onan Solston.
Bishop Onan Solston has asked that I deliver this missive to you. He wishes. He extends to you a challenge, a duel, for the honor of his name and his house, and in the name of Oleg, the tradesman who was sent from this place. The duel shall be held. The duel shall be to first blood. You may name a champion, but if
Can
you
you
choose
go
to
bring
stand
Onan to
on your
please?
own, but if you choose to stand on your own, he will
Mason,
forsake any blade.
Bring Onan here.
Hey! Hey, Odin! Hey!
While we wait for him to show up, I'm probably just like drinking with a bottle that I have to keep the plans from blowing off in the wind.
Should we cliffhanger this and go to a break because it is the top of the hour?
Well, I think we no. I think we should go to the break afterwards. After we,
Okay.
I mean, I want to see if you accept or not, or what you're doing after we set this up.
I got a plan.
Yeah.
I got a plan.
So let's hear it.
So, so Onan would also like for me to extend to you that if you don't name
listen, I understand what this is all about. Onan, what is this I hear about the honor of Oleg? I can understand everything else. I was very respectful to Oleg, and it was his choice to offer me this place. I certainly didn't set out to buy it.
I said nothing to Mason about the honor of Oleg.
I feel like this is a moment where we both turn and look at Mason.
I conveyed nothing to you about the honor of Oleg, merely the honor of Sir Onan's name, and the duel will also be held in the name of Oleg, who was dismissed from the fort.
Excellent. Mason, do you have a knife on you?
I do not, actually. I had. Sorry. Excuse me. Hey, you! Yeah, you from earlier. Can I have that knife again? Thank you. I have a knife now. I borrowed it.
I'm gonna roll up my leather armor on my left arm and my sleeve and cut myself and then walk out to the parapets, tossing the bloody knife back at Mason, which is probably totally unsafe, and say, Sir Onan has defeated me in an honorable duel. He's a very honorable man. And then, roll my sleeve back up. Does that make you feel better, Sir Onan?
This is a breach of protocol.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's a super breach of protocol.
I just trial by combat, honor dueling. It's brutish. What do you...
Mason, this is what I said when I said I have tried so many times to come to peace with him, and every time...
I understand.
What is it you assume that will happen, Onan? If you beat me in a sword duel, I'll suddenly accept you as something? Honor duels only have one purpose: to make other people know how honorable you are. They now believe that.
Do you want, when Mason looks at Onan, do you still look like I am here speaking for you, or do you look like, oh, I got this, you can step down?
No, what I'm looking at you is see, I told you. This is what I'm like. We had a whole conversation where I was like, I've tried multiple times with this guy, and you were like, don't worry, the solution is simple. A solution that I knew would not do anything, and I was like,
I look at you with you share this look at me, and I nod at you with understanding, and I'm like, I see what you are saying. Might I suggest then that you offered him the courtesy, you offered Count Swan the courtesy of delivering this message in private. If you make it public, then
I will continue to refuse to fight you for whatever it is you want. I have something that you might actually want, Onan.
Yes.
The rest of us, well, Demetrius and I will be returning, I suspect, quite soon to the capital in order to sort out whatever remains of the charter. Your intention is still to remain at Fort Banditsworth and turn it into a temple, then.
My religious duty dictates that I must oversee that conversion, but
Yes,
I also have
duty.
But I also have duty to the charter. If the charter should take chronological precedent, then I must do my best to fulfill both duties.
That's the most nobleman thing I've ever heard from you. However, my intention in the capital is to raise the funds necessary to turn that fort into a castle in the name of Gorham, donating the funds in your name. Securing a temple of battle-hardened religious zealots who will keep anything from coming into southern Rossland sounds like a very good idea to me.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, Count Swan. In fact, we have so infrequently disagreed on what we are saying, that is why your continued disrespect of me personally and of my house continues to flummox me, to use a $10 word.
What is $1?
Oh, surely the people say dollars.
They use gold coin.
And they were called dollar
it's
coins.
dialect. It's a dollar, you know. It's
Dollar. Yes.
Yeah, dollar.
$1.
Of course, the Numerian dollar. I didn't realize. Yes, with their technology, $10 is quite a bit. But with their laser guns.
Before I left to slay the Stag Lord, it seemed we had made peace, and I returned to further disrespect for no seeming reason. I have, at every opportunity, tried to end this petty squabble, and am continued to be met with
You think
a wave
it will
of your
end
hand.
by fighting you with a sword to the death or something?
I have no
That will certainly end things between us one way or another.
I have no idea what will end your incessant disrespect. It was Mason's suggestion that I challenge you to an honor duel, and I told him that it probably wouldn't work, but that I would listen to his advice.
I look at the architectural plans, and then I look back at Mason, and I look back at the plans, and I'm just...
I advised Sir Onan to duel you for his honor. He felt slighted, and it is his right as a nobleman to extend a duel in such a circumstance. I thought it was better than the continued animosity. I was sure you would name a champion.
Who here would I name as champion?
I look over to the paraffin like my eye catch Sir Gares. That man seems to have the countenance of a knight.
I just start laughing. The tradition is barbaric. Honor is not won or lost by murdering somebody to death or cutting them with a sword.
Then
what is it won or lost with, Count Swan?
You want me to honor you, Onan, to establish you as a great, noble family? Then let me build this gigantic fuck-off castle on one of the biggest trade routes in the entire world.
Happily.
How do you feel about Castle Onansgard?
I don't...
I don't hate it.
Well, it's better than Masontopia.
It is for the deacon to name the temple. These are not vanity.
I don't think you understand. That fort is going to be inside of a much larger castle.
I have
Dimitri
I have nothing further to say on the matter.
So, what does that mean, my lord? Do you accept this attempted restitution, or would you like for the duel to be made public?
I would have your opinion, Mason.
I just start drinking straight from the bottle at this point.
I look to Swan and I say, it is a very good offer, and an offer of that size would hold up in any conversation as being plenty restitution for any slights offered. This would be a great sign that your houses have reunified and that any slights.
Sorry, I just spit out the wine.
Yes, excellent. As you say, that would be seen as that. Yeah, I will accept that as restitution. Thank you very much for your advice, Mason. And thank you very much, Count Ronald Swan, Your Eminence, for reestablishing honorable interaction.
So Swan just like looks nervously at his left arm and is like, Awesome. This is all very good. Now I need to see Demetrius before I get the plague or something.
Yeah. I think at that point you hear like Sumere whistle. And let's go to
I'm sorry, my lords. I need to go.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, Mason, what was that knife used for before I cut myself?
let's go to a break.
It was placed on the ground next to a stick and then kicked in the mud, and then I gave it back to the guard. I'm sorry, I need to go.
Awesome.
It's the guard's booger knife.
Booger
Booger
knife.
knife?
It's a shame.
Yeah, you've never seen the ridiculous scene in a medieval movie where they're panning across the obviously untrained guardsmen, and one of them's got his weapon of war digging around in his nose, like.
Oh God!
Jesus.
Please.
All right.